Today, we begin with something that many Newcastle United supporters may not have fully noticed yet, a subtle but powerful moment that shook things behind the scenes at the club and awakened something new in a player who had been striving to earn his place. You're about to see how what seemed like just another chant from the stands became the key to a new chapter. At the very start of the season, while all the spotlight was on the pitch, a 24-year-old defender began to feel something different on Tyneside. He had arrived from AC Milan with expectations but couldn't imagine the impact of what he was about to hear, something that made him say, "I'll never forget that moment," and you'll soon find out why that statement carries so much weight. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button yet, do it now so you can follow every detail of this revealing story. This player's journey so far has many layers: a career built in Germany, a spell in Italy, and finally an arrival in the Premier League, wearing the black and white shirt. He joined an ambitious squad under Thiaw, with the mission to strengthen the defense of a club competing on major European fronts. But what truly struck him wasn't just the contract or the stadium, it was something that can only be lived, felt, and celebrated in the stands of St. James Park. As matches went on and the applause grew louder, this player realized he was in a different kind of environment. His routines changed, his sense of belonging deepened, and during an away match he turned to face the stands and heard something he'd never experienced before. The atmosphere, the chant, the recognition, everything came together unexpectedly, opening a new chapter for him and for the club. German centre-back Thiaw, who recently joined Newcastle United, admitted in an interview with Sky Deutschland that the moment that struck him the most was hearing the fans chant, dedicated to him for the first time. "I know the lyrics, it's fantastic. I've never had a song like that in my career. I was surprised when I heard it for the first time. It happened during an away match, when I was facing the stands. I'll never forget that moment." From this revelation, we can explore the real impact of that moment, not just for Thiaw, but for Newcastle United as a whole. And for you, the supporter, who wants to understand what's really happening behind the scenes, so stay tuned. And if you're not yet part of our community, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next chapters of this journey. When Thiaw arrived on Tyneside, coming from a career that included the Bundesliga, Serie A, and the Champions League, he stepped into a club with a clear ambition to compete at the highest level and return to European football regularly. He knew the risks and the demands, but it became clear that something connected him to the fans in a unique way. That chant was part of that bond. In his interview, he said he had never experienced anything like it before, that it took him by surprise, and that in that moment, he felt truly welcomed. But what does that represent for the club, for Newcastle United? A player recognizing fan support so early means something significant: quick integration, emotional connection, and identity. And for Thiaw, it means taking on more than the role of a signing. It means embracing part of the club's soul. He mentioned that manager Thiaw and the club's structure gave him clarity and vision. But hearing the supporters sing his name confirmed one thing: yes, I'm in the right place. Now think about it. Whether you're watching from the stands or from home, what does this kind of connection mean? It means the player isn't just defending the club with his body, but embracing it as a community, a culture, an identity. Thiaw felt that, and the supporters felt it too. This type of synergy is rarely highlighted, but it's real, and it's exactly what can turn a good signing into a cornerstone for years to come. From a technical perspective, Thiaw arrived after a very active transfer window. The club made a strong effort to secure his signing. He held direct talks with Thiaw, who laid out the plan for his role, which helped him decide to move to England. The fact that he felt comfortable turning down other offers to take on this challenge is telling. But that first night, with the chant echoing, was the emotional spark that raised the bar. And this brings us to something crucial for the present and the future: Newcastle United's defense, which had shown signs of inconsistency, now has a young player with physical presence, European experience, and most importantly, an emotional connection with the fans. This could translate into more consistency, more commitment, and more identity. In a season expected to be demanding, that emotional stability could make all the difference. Returning to the interview, Thiaw also spoke about his recent call-up to the German national team by Julian Nagelsmann, a moment that marks his return to the international scene after a period away. There's a sense of renewal for him, with the club, with the fans, and on the national stage. Feeling that he's in the right place could elevate his performances, which naturally benefits Newcastle too. And this is where you, Newcastle United supporters, should pay attention. When a player says, "I'll never forget that moment," he's not just talking about himself, he's acknowledging that this club, these fans, this stadium, and this culture have the power to lift someone higher. That emotion can carry onto the pitch, influencing the results, the fight, the passion. If you want to follow every heartbeat of this story, subscribing to the channel ensures you won't miss a thing. In the end, Thiaw's story at the club is still being written, but that moment hearing his name sung in a distant stadium and realizing he belongs defines more than 90 minutes. It defines loyalty, ambition, and unity. Newcastle United gained more than a defender. They gained someone who already feels part of the Magpies' history. And to conclude, it's worth remembering, football isn't only about tactics or transfers. It's about connection, culture, and identity. Seeing Thiaw embrace that so early is a joy for anyone who follows the club closely. So stay tuned for our next videos. Share this one with your fellow supporters, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any updates on how he's evolving and how that helps Newcastle reach its goals. The journey is only just beginning.